What's up, guys? The Chibi No Podcast for another review. This time we'll be talking about My Hero Academia, Chapter 283. You're gonna meet David the Smash Fan. We have returning guest, Hipster Paul. Paul, you cut out. Say something. I can't hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
There we go. I
I'm
don't know
still
what
here?
happened. Okay. We hear you now. I think we just had a little issue. But that's what happens with Discord. So it's okay.
Yeah.
So, let's before we start the review, let's talk about what is happening previously in My Hero Academia. So, Paul, what's happening before Chapter 2? What's been going on?
Well, it's been kind of intense. There's been a big fight between everybody. Shigaraki and his goons, and my hero characters, all the main characters, plus all the students are fighting just to protect the city. Shigaraki got really wild. He started attacking Gran Torino. It was a shocking experience. But right before the end of that chapter, he aims a bullet to Aizawa. And that's the bullet, if you guys know previously, is the one that can take quirks away. So we don't exactly know what happens during that particular point, but at the very end, Aizawa makes a bold move. And he goes ahead and cut his leg in order to prevent the spread of the virus.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's been quite intense. I was not expecting the same. Glad that they were able to do that. I don't know what's going to happen with him or with Gran Torino as well, since he actually got hit pretty bad. And yeah, that's happening mostly so far.
Yeah, it's been crazy, and the chapter starts off with everyone else who was like on the not on the silence, but they were in a different team, and like Momo is there. We have Mineta and all those people there, and basically they're watching afar, and they're seeing Gigantomachia come and destroy the city. And we find out that Kirishima's, when he threw the anesthesia into Makia's mouth, like, didn't do anything. The guy's still going rampant. We have the League of Villains, or the main ones, that are on his back, and people are just starting to get destroyed. And there's a lot of uncertainty because it shows kind of like a flashback, where you see like some of the pro heroes, and they're like, one of the pro heroes is using like her quirk to like get the students out of the way, and we don't know how many have actually died. Like Midnight, a few chapters before, was all bloodied up, and the Liberation Army was gonna go up against her. We don't know if she's dead or if she's injured. We have Hawks, who's with Tokoyami, who's way injured. So all these pro heroes are down. We have Aizawa, who's bleeding out, and they're trying to keep him alive. And you have Rocklock, who's telling Deku, get out of here, because they know that they're gonna die. That's what they're thinking. Like, they're dead. There's nothing else they can do. And Shigaraki is about to attack, and this is where things go crazy, because you see this cut on him. And when I read that, I was shocked. And so Paul, like, tell us what happened there. Why did he get hurt?
Well, it's because he's trying to use all of his powers. Like, especially with Deku, when he first started, he had so much power that his body was not able to control. So Shaggy's actually experienced similar than that. Even though, like, in the whole experiment in the previous chapters, he was being experimented on, so he can have all the abilities that they need in order to fight, but it wasn't fully completed. So his body's not adjusting to it as yet. So he actually got an effect by having a big cut on his body.
Right, because he was at what, 75%, right, when he was awakened.
Yep, that's about it.
Okay, so yeah, so we know that he's not at full power. I guess he can use the full power, but not without repercussions. Now, I guess the main difference between him and Deku is that Shigaraki has the regeneration quirk, so it will heal his wounds. It's just now being, I guess, delayed a little bit because he's overusing his powers versus the time it takes to regenerate. So that's why you see this injury that he has, at least for a little bit. So that happens, but then he regenerates, and then he's going to use his quirk Decay because Eraserhead can't use his quirk anymore. And this is where we get a huge revelation. So he's about to use a quirk, about to touch the ground and destroy everyone because we now know that his Decay is way stronger. And then we see the black whips attached to everyone, and then all of them go up into the air. And this is where it's revealed that Deku can now use Nana Shimura's quirk Float. And you see Gran Torino kind of smiling, but like, yeah, this is her quirk, and Deku says like, this is going to be the end. This is the fight right here, and that's where the chapter ends. And oh my gosh, okay, Paul, what did you think about when you saw him do this?
And I was really excited. I was kind of expecting it, but at the same time, I was like, finally, we're able to see another quirk ability that Deku has. Frustration, all the anger that he experienced at the very moment due to Gran Torino's attack, which we don't actually need these servers at the moment. And also Aizawa's sacrifice. It really got to Deku in order for him to explode and to use that ability. I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen.
So here's the question. So do you think he's unlocked more than these two quirks?
I mean, could be a possibility. I would like to honestly see maybe an emphasis on this ability at the moment, but who knows? I think it'd be cool if he is able to use Float and Black Whip at the same time. And I think, well, that's what he's doing at the moment, but being able to use a little bit more into it, I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't know if they're able to gonna show all the another ability too. It would be interesting, but I would like to have some time emphasizing on Nana's ability on Deku.
So here I was thinking about this one, like, it's going to be interesting of how Float uses, because we know nothing about, all we know is the name that she uses, Float, and that could imply so many different things. It could mean that he can just levitate himself as high as he wants to, or maybe he can propel himself. Maybe he can, and I was thinking about this, maybe he can temporarily give that Float ability to other people and have them like elevate, kind of like Uraka, how she can use her quirk to levitate people, basically not have any type of gravity and just kind of float there. So I was wondering if maybe they can do that. Because here's the thing though, is because all of them are in danger now, because if Shigari touches the ground, anything that's touching the ground is going to be disintegrated because of his quirk. So really the safest place they're going to be is up in there, because the only ones that can really, I guess, quote unquote fly at the moment would be Gran Torino, but he's out. He can't move. We have not Todoroki, Endeavor. He can kind of like float with his flames, but Todoroki, as far as we know, can't, because the only way he's kind of propelled himself up was with ice, and that's touching the ground. And then Bakugo could stay up in the air as well. So okay, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of intense on that for sure. Like, I hope, like I said, I would like to see more of Float, because Nana used to use that ability a lot, and she was a pro hero, and she had the power of all for one, and being able to use that during her whole period, they probably find other ways in which she can use that ability. So it would be exciting to see if Deku can use something else on that level as Nana as well.
So now here's the question, kind of talking about what's going to happen in the future. So what's going to happen in future chapters? What is this all leading up to? Because they all keep saying that this is the end, and I don't think it's the end of My Hero Academia. I don't think this series is going to end anytime soon, even with the end of this battle. But what do you think is going to end at the end of this arc?
I think at this particular point, it's going to get to the point that somebody's going to die, for sure. I think it's going to help progress Deku's character development as well. I can see the League of Villains to be able to affect somebody enough to kill the main character or anything like that. I can see them retreating, being able to even have a gap for Deku to evolve and to use more abilities. So that's my guess, that there's a possibility that somebody might be affected to the point of dying that will have a bigger impact on Deku. So when they come back again, hopefully if there is a gap of a couple of years, you can see him like stronger and more dedicated And also with Shigaraki, I can see him like being like damaged to a particular point that he needs to retreat and come back to meet Deku again and have another fight.
Right, yeah, because he's only at 75%, so there has to be some sort of limitation that he has, that his body has. We haven't seen him hit that yet, but there has to be something, and so what I believe is that he is going to have to retreat, and that since the doctor's not going to be with him, I mean, I guess they might try and go and save the doctor, we don't know, but he's going to have to finish his process of getting All For One, that last 25%. And as you talked about, like a death, like I think we talked about this offline, where the ones probable at this point who are gonna die that could help Deku would be Gran Torino dying. He's probably, I think he's the most likely candidate, and Eraser as the second candidate, because they're both very wounded bad. I'm hoping Eraserhead doesn't, because Eraserhead, I guess he has so much more to. I guess this might also feel the reason why he should die, but he has so much more to offer, because he needs to help Deku still. He needs to help Eri, and the whole thing with Shirakumo, right? That's his name. So all that stuff, and with President Mike. So it would be a huge blow to kill him, but I'm hoping that they don't, and I hope actually it's more Gran Torino than Eraserhead if they do decide to kill someone to help Deku.
Right. I'm also like think about that. I also we spoke about this too. Maybe doesn't have to be any of those two. Maybe All Might will come back and be able to be attacked by it.
No,
I know, like,
don't say that.
As mentioned before, like I know that Shigaraki wanted to kill All Might, and I know All Might has been like low profile because he doesn't have any powers at the moment. But maybe something happens and he's able to have like a little fight, or maybe contribute or find some way to help. And Shigaraki killing All Might in order to help Deku develop a lot more, because he's a lot closer to All Might too. Well, he's the same with Gran Torino, but All Might will have a bigger impact, not only on Deku but in the whole community as well.
I'm hoping that they use this time to. We talked about it. So Aries is at UA and they're teaching her how to possibly use her quirk. I'm hoping that maybe to help Deku, they bring back Lemillion, because Lemillion, again, he uses Permeate, and as far as we know that Shigaraki, even though his power is way stronger, he still has to use his hands. Maybe not touch him with 5 fingers, but he needs to use his hands to actually use Decay, right? And if that's the case, then Lemillion can come in, and the whole, like with Chisaki, he can come in and he can help Deku because he can permeate through anything and do some damage, or at least keep him at bay for a little bit while Deku thinks of something. I mean, what do you think of that?
I think it could be a possibility, especially with Ares' power. Like she can even bring like All Might to maybe temporarily have his almighty power to maybe have a final battle, or just to help in a way. And I think that'd be cool to see. But then again, I don't know what's gonna happen. That's what it's so worrisome, but also so exciting to wait till the next chapter to see what's gonna happen next.
I think it'd be. Yeah, I think if they brought All Might back to, again, I think because the quirk is no longer in him, she can't. Maybe Ares' limitation, she can't bring back something that he has given away, but can give back the embers that he had, at least, when he fought All For One, and what he had after he gave his power to Deku to be in his buff form for like a few minutes or half an hour, whatever. I'm hoping that they could do that. I mean, there's so many possibilities that can happen in this story, and so I'm really liking that, because it's not linear right now. Anything can happen, and that's not even to mention what's happening with Gigantomachia. Like, we don't know how they're gonna stop him. Momo tried something. Had tried the anesthesia. They tried to stop him with Mount Lady. Nothing is working on him.
So yeah, I'm hoping that they will. I don't know. That's tricky, but maybe they'll bring somebody else. We still haven't seen all the top heroes in there. I think we're missing one or two. I think it'll be cool to see somebody who has not been in the top 10.
No, watch the one that's gonna save the day is the freaking washing machine hero. I forget his name or her name. Oh, he's so dumb. Just comes in. Woo! I'm gonna wash you. Okay.
But
So
yeah, you never know, and I think each particular I can't wait until next episode for sure. Like each chapter is getting really intense for this big fight.
yeah, and I'm hoping that I hope they keep the twist coming, because they're doing a great job at it. I wasn't expecting he's putting in stuff that I wasn't expecting, which I really like. Again, I wasn't expecting Deku to float at this point. I thought that they were going to save maybe that for a time skip, but yeah, I honestly do believe that we're heading to a time skip or to an end of an era, which might be the heroes, the way that they're maybe the way they're portrayed, or maybe that the villains take over, which I don't think will happen, but at least the fight will shed light on a lot of heroes, and there might be a huge change, which might be a callback to what Stain was wanting, like an actual change in heroes in the hero society. And that's also something to think about, is what's gonna happen to Stain, because you've seen him, like, I don't think in the anime they've shown it, but you've seen panels with him still in prison, so he's still there. And then there's that whole other thing of who's the traitor in UA that they need to bring about. So yeah, I don't think the series is gonna end anytime soon.
But yeah, I think for sure they're gonna kill somebody. He has to. I think, as you can say, Horikoshi was not afraid to killing Night Eye to have a bigger impact into the story. So I think if they are actually being able to bring maybe one or two deaths, I don't want that to happen, but I think maybe it's necessary in order to help some of the heroes grow a lot more.
Well, we know that there's tons of hero casualties when Shigaraki used Decay. We know the number 6 hero is dead. He's the one that saved Eraserhead, and I'm almost like certain that Midnight's dead, but I don't know. It looks like it. We don't know. And Mount Lady, I don't know if she's dead too, because she was pretty beaten up, and I'm pretty sure she's out of her gigantic form now and might have been attacked by the Liberation Army. So,
and not to mention Miracle too, one of the bunny superhero.
Oh, Miracle, yeah, she's bleeding out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They bring us all these good characters, and then they start just killing them off or hurting them. It's dumb. They're all gonna need prosthetics now. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. We'll talk more when the next chapter comes out, and I think Hipsapal said this, but we want to know your thoughts on this. Like, who do you think? Do you think they're gonna kill someone? If so, who? Or what do you think is gonna happen? And we'd love to talk about that in the next video and see if your predictions are correct or if ours were. So yeah, leave a comment below and let us know. We'll talk about it. So thanks so much for watching. This is David the Smash Fan.
This is Hipster Paul saying hi.
And this is Chibino Podcast.